right, so our next speaker actually had to bow out. And so, in an act of spiteful revenge, I made him be the cameraman tonight. So if we can have a round of applause for our not exactly volunteer cameraman. Thank you, David. And so we've had a last-minute substitution. Our wonderful friend Jen here is going to talk to us about Swedish. So there you go.
So I took a little bit of issue with that other one because Swedish waffles, I think, are the best. So how does a short, curvy Filipino girl end up learning Swedish? Well, that's a longer story than I have time for, but I will give you some of my knowledge through this presentation. So the language that we are talking about is called svenska, and it's spoken in a country called Sweden. 9 million people. 9 million people, capital Stockholm. They still have kings and queens, but they do have a parliament, and the currency is the Swedish crown. So I learned Swedish. There are some really awesome things about Sweden. H&M, my favorite fashion retailer. Movits, who was on the Colbert Report. Vodka, that's one of my favorite things too. All great reasons, but the real reason is that Swedish people are hot. Real Swedes. Footballer, those are the actual Swedish royalty, the Swedish princesses, and another model, Marcus Schenkenberry. So, the first word for you tonight, and I'm going to want you to repeat, is köttbullar. This is meatballs, the one thing I think most people here could associate with Sweden. Köttbullar are known as a delicacy of the Swedish chef, and if he were to use the word köttbullar in a sentence, he'd probably say something like "Jag lagar goda svenska köttbullar." Bork. Bork, bork, bork. The next word involves leisure. Bastu. Bastu. Say it one more time.
Bastu.
All right, well, the truth is that Swedes are not all entirely hot. If you go to Sweden, you may be asked, vill du gå på bastu? Which means, do you want to go to the sauna? It is a very common Swedish activity. And, yeah, okay, so, one of the words you also would want to be familiar with is insektsnyckel. Insektsnyckel means Allen wrench in Swedish. Where would we be without the Allen wrench? Vad gör man utan insektsnyckel? I don't have any clue because I love Swedish furniture, and IKEA is actually how you say it in Sweden. IKEA. Alright, we couldn't get by without any foul language. This is actually not a word used illustratively like Bono would use. Instead, it's knulla. Knulla. You're going to hear this question, if you hear it, on a dance floor. Vill du knulla? I would not expect to get a very good answer out of this question, but you're welcome to try it on a Stockholm club dance floor if you wish. The next word you might not find in every dictionary, but it is bekräftelsehora. Do you want to try saying that one? No? Bekräftelsehora. You know, either you've been one or someone else has, but I think most people know that the bekräftelsehora is not exactly the one you want to be in the relationship. Props for XKCD, no? Okay, so on a more serious note, sambo. Sambo. Alright, in Sweden, this is a common law spouse, and you should not confuse it, though, with an older racial slur in the United States. You can look up the history books for that one. But actually, in Sweden, only 60% of women are ever expected to be married in their lives. Swedish marriage rate is just that low. Most people leave marriage as a religious institution. So, probably the best word of the night is öl. Öl. It's definitely my favorite word out of all these. What would we do without being able to ask for a beer in Sweden? Because that's a central part of Swedish culture. When you go to a bar in Sweden, you will ask for an öl, tack. And because in Sweden there are supermarket beers with 3.5% Alcohol, you ask for en stor stark. So after you get that beer at your Swedish bar, you are going to go join your friends and learn the word skål. That means cheers in Swedish, and when you cheer in a Swedish bar, you make eye contact with each other, hold your glass up, and yell skål. Anyways, thank you. That is your 8 Swedish words for the evening.